Okay, welcome back. I mean, we've got the market, which is doing absolutely stunningly well. 90 points, by the way, on the Nifty. 17,695 is where we are at on the index. 7:1 is the advance decline. Actually, 6:1 is the advances to declines ratio, which is tremendous, right? I mean, and it's holding so far after opening around those levels as well. Broader markets are doing well as well. Policy Bazaar, BHEL, I mean, just put that name up. It's up 8.5%, and it's coming up. It was nowhere in the picture early on, but it's the top volume-led gainer today, BHEL, that is. And look at RCF, Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizers. It's up 6%. So yeah, these were not there earlier. Indiabulls Real Estate is up 5%. L&T Finance is up about 7.5%. And banks are coming up. So IDBI Limited is up 7%, Union Bank is up 5%, Anantraj is up 9%, and so on and so forth. So this is, I mean, just to give you a flavor of what's moving up and moving up on volumes with about, 30 minutes of trade behind us. The next company we have on our radar is Route Mobile, which posted a decent set of first quarter results, actually good set of results. Revenues up 17% quarter on quarter, up 90% plus on a year-on-year basis. The company said that they are well on track to achieve the 40% revenue growth guidance for FY23, and they could even do 50% given the current momentum, which they saw in Q1. But is that momentum continuing into this quarter, Q2? We have Rajdipkumar Gupta, Managing Director, Group CEO and Promoter of the company, joining in. Thanks very much, Mr. Gupta, for joining in. Good to have you here. Prashant, this side. Could you sort of start with that? Is the momentum continuing in terms of billable volumes? And also the rate that you're getting, which dropped. Volumes grew strongly with, I think, the highest ever in Q1. But the rate per transaction dropped for you in Q1. How are both of those things panning out in Q2 so far?
Good morning, Prashant. I think in Q2 also we are very keen to, since you know that we have acquired multiple companies in the last few quarters, we are in a process of integrating all the companies together, and we want to create a upsell and cross-sell opportunity within the organization itself, and we find lots of potential amongst each other in all the companies which we acquired. And our complete focus in this quarter is also to make sure we create a upsell cross-sell opportunity within the organization. As far as the volume is concerned, I think we are well on track in this quarter as well, and we are definitely looking out to overachieve our number in terms of volume as compared to the last quarter. And in terms of pricing, I think there are various aspects of our pricing also. It depends on the market mix as well, because if there's a large volume coming from Africa, it might create a little bit of issue of price decrease on price per transaction. But I think we are well on track as compared to what we achieved in last quarter, and whatever the guidance we have given to the market, that we will overachieve 50% target.
Okay, so with a 50% revenue growth guidance, Mr. Gupta, I'm sure a lot of operating leverage will also kick in, right? It will help you in terms of your gross margin performance too. You're already sitting at around 22% gross margins. How much better could it get through the course of the year?
So I think we still want to give us guidance of the same range, but as our product mix increases in future, like when we talk about messaging to WhatsApp, to RCS, to email or Viber kind of solution, which is a very high margins. And right now it's a very early stage of adoption, an omni-channel is still very early stage of adoption. We believe that in coming quarters, the adoption ratio will increase and our revenue from this channel of communication will increase as well. And we have our internal aspiration to grow our GP somewhere between 25 to 30% in coming quarters. And we are looking forward for that, and we are working towards that.
Okay, so that is on the margin front. That's on the gross margin front, but on an operating profit margin, the EBITDA percentage, what is the range? You've been in a range of around 11 to 13%. I think the best was about 13.8% in Q4 of FY21. What would the range be for the rest of the year?
So I think we are still guiding between 11.5 to 12.5% as of now, and between next few years, probably we are aiming to grow that to 14 to 15%. But as of now, if you talk about the guidance, anything between 11.5 to 12.5% is something that we are targeting right now.
Mr. Gupta, what about competition? I mean, I think in the quarter, one of your competitors talked about how a telecom company had taken over one of their clients. Bharti has spoken about its ambitions in the space openly. Could you talk to us about how that will play out?
Prashant, Route Mobile is a global CPaaS player. We operate in 22 countries, and India is just one of our market. And if you see our numbers also, we now have almost 22% market share in India. We started our India operation in 2016. In last 6 years, we acquired 22% of the market share. We don't have any competition. We are doing what we are the best. And I think at the rate which we are growing, we are aiming to have 30% market share in India in next 1 year, 2 year down the line. And I think competition-wise, every country I go, there will be a domestic competition for us. And I think we are not focused on any competition anywhere in the world. I think global CPaaS market itself is a $60 billion market, and there is a lot to gain rather than lose for me.
Okay, that's actually a great strategy to have, right? I mean, you are your own competitor and you just compare yourself with your past trajectory. I guess that's good. But I mean, I don't know if it really works in a market like this, which is so cutting edge and where there's new technology coming up every day. There's so much disruption. What are you doing about that, Mr. Gupta? Is there any inorganic strategy, any companies that you'd want to acquire? If yes, what is the cash on the books that you'd be perhaps using for this?
So as of 30th June, I think we have over 1,000 crore in our books, and we definitely want to acquire some companies as far as the tuck-in investment, like not looking out for very large investment as of now. We definitely want to get into voice business, and we are evaluating a few companies in this space. Along with that, I think we believe that in coming days, the authentication is going to be seamless, and OTP can be replaced by mobile identity. So there are different use cases which is arising now where people are looking out for a seamless authentication. So we are evaluating a company in mobile identity space, and very soon we would love to announce that acquisition.
Tuck-in means small, right?
Yeah, tuck-in is like anything less than $10 million for sure.
Okay, all right. Only one of those. You said you're close
Maybe
to...
two.
You're
Maybe two.
Okay, close to announcing both.
Yeah. Yeah.
This year itself, this calendar?
Mostly this quarter or next quarter.
Oh. And closer to 10, sir? Closer to 10 million? Both?
Both, yes.
So, okay. So, how much of the 1,000 crore cash on the books will you be using for inorganic acquisitions?
Sonia, if you see, I think we are well placed as far as our stack is concerned. Like we got all the stack required as a CPaaS player. Like our complete aim for next 18 months is to integrate all the acquisition which we have done. And I think we are fairly integrated the finance part of all the company we acquired. And I think now the entire finance is happening from Mumbai and with our CRM. And I think that's a very critical aspect of any acquisition. So we are very bullish that we don't need to go for more acquisition post these two acquisition which are smaller in size. It's better to focus and integrate all those acquisition which we have already done and try to integrate them in next 18 months.
Yes. So you'll spend about 150 odd crores at around that for these two acquisitions, maybe less than that.
Yeah, maybe 150 crore around that.
And this quarter, right?
This quarter or maybe next quarter. So there is due diligence going on. It all depends on the findings of due diligence, and if there's any challenges, I think it may take some time also.
Okay. All right. We will leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in, and all the best for the quarters to come. That's Route Mobile, very confident actually about the business going forward. They do have 1,000 crores cash on their books. They're looking at some inorganic acquisitions for cutting edge technology.